Yeah, you can
Okay.
go.
Well, guys, forgive us. Before we even introduce ourselves, we're very new to this, so I guess what do? We start by introducing yourself.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
so.
Yeah. Well, hi everybody. I'm Ali.
Uh,
The, from Beyond the Reels, and this is my teammate.
I'm Crisco from Beyond the Reels also. Uh-huh. Definitely not
Nice.
nervous at all.
That's good. That's good to hear because I'm also not nervous. Like you cannot hear any kind of nervousness in my voice, can you?
Nah, you're good. You're cool.
Yeah, I'm a cool dude. So, I guess just a little introduction for you peeps out there. We started this we started this podcast because I'm very opinionated, and Crystal is also like highly opinionated, right?
Highly,
What?
Oh,
highly.
highly opinionated. I'm the nice one, guys. So let's just set the record straight. Okay, so do you want to tell them how we got started?
Okay. So back in the days, 13 million years ago, we used to watch movies together. We still do, yeah. And we would. You see, now you're doing unnecessary things.
We still
You
do,
know,
do we? Do we still?
I mean,
I'm calling you
kinda.
out on your BS, Cleo. When last have we watched the movie?
I mean, we didn't watch it together, but you watched it first, and then I watched it, and then we came together and talking about it.
You know what? I actually have a saying for this because when I used to do long distance with my partner, we called it together separately. So we actually used to like do things separately but together because we weren't in the same location. So
Yeah.
we can call it or together separately.
Yeah, we did it together separately. But I guess back in those days, we would watch it the same time. You're better at telling the story. So please take the floor, Ali. Please take the floor.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Well, let me tell you how it all began. Once upon a time, there was Crystal and there was Allie, and we're like, what should we do? We can't spend time together because we're worlds apart. Oh no! So Crystal came up with this great idea. Why don't we watch movies together? So I was like, I like movies. She was like, I like movies too. So we're like, dope. So we did that. And it was very interesting because it kind of showed our friendship, the commitment we had to it. Because imagine trying to sync up your computers together and pause your computers together and go to the bathroom separately but together while watching a 2 hour drama. It was interesting, but I have to say I did love every moment of it, and I felt like it really brought us closer together.
Yeah, it
So
did.
right, so I'm personally hoping that Beyond the Reels will help draw a lot of other people closer together. We're starting this channel or podcast, whatever you want to call it, to like, you know, build the bonds that the reels bring. So, I guess that's it for introduction.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I guess that's it for our introduction.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
applaud yourself.
Okay. All right. So, I'm gonna let Cleo, since I love to talk and I've talked this whole time, I'm gonna let Cleo introduce what we're gonna be talking about today in our first ever episode of Beyond the
The
Reels.
reels. Yeah. So, We have been watching this series together for a while. I think it came out in, was it 2021? And they're still making parts of the series. Currently, they're making another part of the series, and it's the Bridgerton series. We both enjoyed it, you know, and we want to do a little breakdown of all of the pieces of the series. So today we wanted to talk about season one, where it focused on Daphne and her love interest Simon.
The
So
Dachshund Duke of Hastings.
yeah, the Duke of Hastings. Was it Hastings?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anelka knows all of this stuff. She's like a nerd, a Bridgerton nerd.
Wow. I would call myself a nerdist.
So I think we wanted to like do a breakdown of characters first. Um, I wanted to talk about the mothers of Bridgerton, and I
Yeah.
think the first mother we want to talk about is I think
Daphne's mom.
yeah, Daphne's mom, Lady Bridgerton. What Miss Opinionated? What do you think about her?
Well, you know what? I kind of want to break down why we want to talk about her first,
Mm-hmm.
just to give some, because the movie was centered around Daphne and the princes we know, but like in high society, it really kind of focused on what moms have to go through to kind of put their daughters at the top, right? I'm sure we
Yeah,
didn't see everything that was being done, but it had to take a lot to actually make Daphne, spoilers, the diamond of the first water. And just so you guys know, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this. So if you haven't watched it and we've encouraged you to watch it, you're going to, like, I hope you like spoilers. I personally do because that makes me want to watch movies more. But if you don't, still listen because, you know, we need the
yeah.
help. Okay. So,
Mhm.
um, okay. So for me, it's kind of in depth because now I know a lot more about Lady Bridgerton because previously in the first season we didn't know too much about her, but when Queen Charlotte came out and the other Bridgerton season 2 came out, it kind of got more in depth of like what a mother she was and what she had to deal with to become who she was now. But I really liked I think the biggest thing was like what Lady Whistledown brought up was the comparison between um, new money and old money. Bridgerton's, they were like the top of the top, right? So she had a lot of weight to carry. Heavy wears the crown. So I really respected her because she had a very sweet and demeaning personality, I guess endearing personality, but she also knew how to fight for what she wanted.
Mhm.
Um, so, like in the fact where she was pushing Daphne and Simon together, right? Like
Yeah.
when you first meet her, she's this lovely sweetheart lady. She's just trying to get her daughter to the first show. But when came to shove, she protected her daughter from Nigel. She also put
Yeah.
her daughter in, she put her daughter into like the best prospect for her. She was either going to get a prince or a duke, right? So I really loved how caring and loving she was because she was not just caring about like what position she got as the duchess, but she also cared about the relationship that she would have, and that's because hers marriage was a love marriage. So that
Yeah.
kind of for me showed like the depth in her character of how important it was for her to have Daphne marry somebody that she actually truly loved instead of somebody in like high position, right? And I think that was also the biggest difference between her and the Feathertons because they were new money, but I'm certain that the way they bicker, or the way they were, didn't seem like they were love interest. It was more like what would you call it? What would you call it, Cleo?
Um, the type of connection she wanted her daughters to have.
Yeah, so if it's not a love it, what is it? Just
I
like
guess just for status and money, I think.
yeah. So
But
status interest versus love interest, I
but
guess.
I think one of her daughters, the one that got um betrothed, she was actually in love with the guy that
Mm-hmm.
she was matched
Are
with,
you talking about
Lady
for
Featherington.
Bridgerton, her daughter?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's about love for her because I don't think her connection with her husband was one out of love.
Mhm.
But I think parents, like the mothers, I guess, the connection they learned from their
Mhm.
parents is what they inflict on their own daughters, I guess.
Yeah.
But back on to Lady Bridgerton. She's one of, she's such a lovely mother. With Eloise, she was sort of understanding with Eloise, but still wanted to push her to, get out there, meet someone she might love. But she wasn't forceful about it. She was
Yeah.
very kind. She was like one of the coolest mothers, I think, in the show.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Next to Lady Danbury.
Yeah, Lady Danbury is pretty cool. When we get on to Queen Charlotte, man, the things that she had to put up with, Lady Danbury. Oh my gosh. I feel for her. But I will not spoil it. I will give you guys a
Until
chance to watch it.
we'll spoil it later, though, for sure.
Yeah, we'll spoil it later. We'll give you some time though. So,
Yeah, so I kind of just gave my feel about how I felt about her. Was there anything else that you wanted to add?
on Lady Bridgerton, I think you covered everything on Lady Bridgerton. Lady Featherington though. What did
Yeah,
we not cover? Um, what about her?
yeah, you can go ahead.
The styling though of her daughters with the bright yellow colors. I don't know, her fashion sense was kind of different. They,
Uh, so if I can interject on that, that
yeah,
is
you
actually
can.
something that really set if we go into like high society politics, it kind of set apart the Federtons from the Bridgertons and even all the other ladies of the ton, right? So it really had a lot to do with their place in society, right? So the way they dress was the depiction, right? So as you could see, like with Cressida or even Daphne, how they dressed. Cressida was like in pink and subtle colors, and then Daphne was also in blue and like subtle colors too, which like they have different meanings, but I won't get into that. But when you look at like the colors that the Fredingtons made their daughters wear, it was trying to like push them out there so they could stand. It's trying to show them that, oh yeah, we have money too, but they're overdoing it because with high society, like even in today's world, you can think about how people dress and how people try to impress other people by how they look. But the people who are actually rich are the people that are subtle and like they live like a balanced, normal life. But the people who want to show off that they're rich are the ones that actually are more out there and pushing it in your face, right? So it kind of cuts between like what is truly exquisite in high society and what is not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
but
think
yeah.
I made a mistake about the whole dowry thing. Isn't
Yeah,
the woman's
the woman's supposed to give the dowry.
the
The
guy the
dowry.
dowry? Yeah, and they
Yes.
at some point didn't have it at the time because of
Yeah.
her husband's mistake, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I made a mistake there.
But you like I do understand your point because your point was more
Yeah,
towards that
she didn't seem to be interested in a love marriage.
a love interest, right? She
Yeah,
was because even for how she treated Marina, it was like get whatever you can, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
because of how she like it's also it really all plays into how society treats you, right? So
uh-huh,
because like look at Daphne and Cassida, like they both had the prince affection, right? Because
yeah,
of where they were in society, that was their match. They could go up a rank. But with them being new money and not having a rank in place yet, they have to build off what they can. So
yeah.
they have a level where they cannot pass and a level where they're stuck, right? So her herself probably also had that level before she even married Lord Featherington. So that was her status. So when she got like betrothed to him, she was like a little bit, probably a little bit even above her status, right? So she was trying to also get her daughters betrothed to whoever she could, because it was more important to get married to anybody than not to get married in the season.
Like, even though she probably didn't believe in a love marriage, she definitely, I would say, loved her daughters
Yeah, she
and
still wanted the best
wanted the
for them.
best for them. Yeah,
Mhm.
I would say that for sure. Like, and that
Yeah.
is shown in the season two. Well, is it season two? In the second series. I don't want to touch on it too much, but you see that what she's doing is because she loves her family. She loves her
Hmm.
daughters. I mean, her husband, the relationship with her husband didn't seem like a very nice one, it seems,
Hmm.
because he's making money moves without her and not telling her certain things and gambling all
So,
of her money.
yeah, he has a gambling addiction, so.
Yeah, so she would be with her daughters most of the time. I don't think I've seen her in any scene without her daughters close by. Like,
Hmm.
she's always carrying them to the dress shops. She's carrying them to the balls. And
Hmm.
her life is focused around them.
Yeah,
And you see that although she may come off as abrasive, she's not bad, like deep down.
you're saying is like for a mother's standard, she's
She's
pretty
pretty
good.
decent. She's pretty decent, I would say. Even though she doesn't seem to believe in a love marriage. She's pretty decent.
Yeah, because we would find out that in season two.
Yeah, we will. Okay, so we covered Lady Featherington. I don't think we need to cover Lady Cowper because we don't really see
Note
much about
of
her.
her.
They seem like kind of stuck up-ish. That's all I gotta
Mhm.
say. But if you have stuff to say on her, I mean, you can.
I would just say like it was interesting to see um how the ladies how the mothers of the town kind of navigated their children into getting the match that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was I feel like each mother was trying to do the best for their children, if you want to put it like if
Yeah.
we're character building, like Cressida, her mom, Lady Cowper, was really caring about how um even though she might not have gotten a match in the end, she did do her best to get her daughter out there too.
Yeah.
Um so it's
Yeah.
really it's really interesting to see how they had to navigate everything, especially in the town for successful marriages.
So, Who's your favorite mother? I think already know who you're gonna say, but who's your favorite mother in the first series?
I would say it was. Should I shock you?
Oh my gosh, please go
I would
ahead.
actually say it's Lady Featherington for me.
What?
Uh, yes, because she not only had to take care of her daughter, she had also had to take care of Marina too, right? Um, and in high society,
Uh-huh.
like it's not normal to actually take somebody. Well, it is okay to take somebody under your wing, but like after she found out what was happening, you know what? I think she tried her best till a point where she was like, enough is enough. And she wanted to marry her off to a bad guy. But look, she gave her a chance to marry Colin, right? She at first she did try to put her onto that guy with the bad teeth, but she was like, hey, like I can get Colin, and she was like, well, if you can get Colin, I will let you do that, you know? So I just think the fact that she had the courage to, like, give her a chance and also take on that responsibility. Like Bridgertons, they had it easy. They had the status already, they had the high society, they had the praise, right? So they grew up in that. But Lady Fredington, she has to navigate her way through a different kind of society, right? So her husband was a gambler. She was losing all her money. She had to think. She might have not done the right things, but she did it most of her things with good intentions.
Yeah, that's true. I would say my
What about you?
favorite is obviously Lady Bridgerton. I just love her. She's just so warm and sweet. Um, but okay, disclaimer for anyone who plans to watch and who haven't watched as yet, who are enjoying the spoilers. There are some risque scenes in there that you might want to skip if you are, you know, not wanting to see those things. You might want to skip some of the scenes. It's not a bad show, but you might want to skip certain scenes if you know what I
If you
mean?
are under the age of 18, please proceed to the next scene.
With caution.
Caution. How would I do caution? That's not a good caution.
Nah, that's I'm gonna add some more stuff to the soundboard.
Oh my God!
You're just being random now.
It's just being random. Um,
Okay, so
okay, so we do have another mother that I think you said you wanted to talk about. Do you want to still talk about her?
Lady Danbury,
Yes.
although she wasn't technically a mother, well, she does have children, which you'll learn later on. But although she wasn't technically his mother, she did help to raise him. So I guess we can classify her as a mother in this series.
A mother figure.
Um, I think when you get the flashback of when he was a child, I think having her there, Simon having her there was something really positive, knowing that his mother died and now, you know, he has Lady Danbury now. She taught him how to talk without a stutter. She showed him love as a child when his father only cared about, you know, success with him, not really about him personally. And she was a good mother figure to him, and also still a good mother to figure to him in his older age because she wants him to find love, and she eventually did help him to find love in Daphne. So yeah, I
I
know
agree.
you have much more to say.
You know, I'm just a little bit opinionated, not like you, who's highly opinionated.
You
But
know,
I do,
no, wait,
I
wait,
do
wait,
want
wait,
to.
wait, 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 wait. You do realize that you have more opinions of me than you do
Do
realize you have
I?
more opinions than me.
Do I?
Yeah.
I just. You know what? The trick to it, I'm just louder. That's why. I was loud. But yeah, I do have to agree with everything that you said. She was very impactful on his life, and the way that she navigated and helped him, you know, eventually they all had to come to their own conclusion as adults if they wanted to be together. But he wanted to pack up everything and go, but she was very encouraging, you know. And I get it, she like really worked hard to put him in that position where he's confident of who he is, right?
Yeah.
And put him in like a good position. So it was to continue. I think because we didn't see her, how she treated him when he was growing up, how he, we could see that in the way that she treated him now at the whatever age he's right now, how she navigated and helped him with his life, right?
Yeah.
um so yeah, I really liked her too, and now knowing her backstory too really gave me a lot more in depth, and like to see who she was and like how she became like who she is right now. So it was interesting. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do like Lady.
Lady
I like how
Di.
she talks.
Yeah, and I like how she's like, she has her head high, and
Yeah,
does she walk with a
it's kind of
cane?
like a
She walks
peacock.
with a, yeah, she walks with a cane, right?
She what?
She walks with a cane, right?
Yes, she does. She does.
Yeah, she has her head high, and she's confident in herself. She's
Yeah, I love how
like,
she looks.
if like, was it the third part of the series, Lady Charlotte? She's come a long way to get
Hmm.
to really raise her head high, to get
Hmm.
a position in society. So,
Yeah.
props to her, props to her.
Hmm.
Okay, now let's talk about the daughters.
The daughters. Okay, so I guess, do you want to start from the top to bottom, or
Let's talk about Eloise and Penelope. Let's talk about
okay?
their friendship. Wait, let's talk about who these girls are what they're portrayed as, what their character is like. I think we should first talk on Eloise.
Okay, so I think Eloise is what, the fourth or fifth child for Lady Bridgerton. So she kind of grew up mainly around her older brother, and yeah, I think that really shaped her character in a way where she, like, Daphne got, because Daphne was first, that's her sister. She got all the attention, right? And she even said it in there. She was happy that she took all the attention from her so she could be who she wanted. But I saw that she had a really good relationship with Benedict. Um oh no, that's not his name. Wait. Yeah, it was, is it Benedict?
The one that could draw?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure. You know you can't ask me that. I suck at names.
Yeah, so yeah, his name was Benedict, and so she kind of grew up around the boys, right? She got more into books and reading, and that was kind of opposite of like what ladies in the town would do, because most of them were focused on like sewing, fashion, like you could
Fashion
call
and
that,
getting a man, basically.
yeah, getting betrothed, yeah. So that was the ultimate goal, but um she wanted more, out of life. She wanted higher education.
Yeah.
She wanted to be like step out of society and like not what your everybody else was doing, you know? She wanted more. And she was very intellectual.
Yeah,
So
she was.
kind of she kind of like she kind of had to navigate herself in her own way. So it was really good that she had Penelope. That is do you want to introduce her?
Penelope. Oh, I also want to talk about Eloise smoking. Did she smoked, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and she was definitely not like the other girls. And she she really wasn't interested in getting a man because she sees how that's all the others are focused on. They get tied down and breed and have a bunch of babies, and that's it. You raise the kids and you grow old and die, and she wanted more for herself. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think a lot of women now today are more like that, but some take it a bit too far.
Mhm.
But it had to start from somewhere, you know. But okay, Penelope. Penelope just seemed like a naive little sweetheart, you know? She was
Seems like,
into, she was like, when Eloise was like, oh, marriage is dumb, she was like, but it's beautiful. Like, not exactly like that, but they were kind of
yeah,
opposites as it relates to those things.
that's because she had a crush.
Yeah, she had a crush on Colin, Eloise's
Hmm.
brother. And it's so obvious. The crush is so obvious. Like, I don't know how he doesn't notice that she has a crush on him. Like,
But he kind
God.
of said it, though. They said like because they grew up together, saw her as a sister
Yeah.
because she was very close with Eloise. You know, they
She
kind of
got
came hand.
sister zoned.
She got sisters on.
Wah, wah, wah. Have you ever been sister zoned?
Um. Okay, let's try to see this. If I've ever been sisters on. That would mean my friend had a brother,
Like, not
and
not exactly that. Like a guy tells you, "Oh, I see you as a sister." Like, you know when girls would say
I'm
to
gonna be
guys, "I see you
honest.
as a brother," and they get brother zoned?
Yeah, no.
Never
I
happened.
yeah, no. Plus, like, I kind of stayed away from relationships for like half my years. I was like, yeah, I hate men. Bye. So
Oh, we
I
are the
really
same.
don't. Yeah, I don't have any experience. I had two boyfriends
Yeah.
that were both long distance, so I can't say I
Like
really
that's the
experienced it.
same. That's the same with me. I hated men for until I was 19, and then I was like, huh, boys are kind of cute, you know?
Yeah, they got something going for them.
Yeah. Okay. So, what were we talking about again?
We were talking about Penelope and how different they were. But you know what? In the end, we kind of found out they were not that different. It was just that Penelope knew that she could do both, you
Mhm.
know? But Eloise thought like if she had to settle for one, then she'd have to settle for all.
Mhm.
Um, so like if she fell in love, she'd have to give up love. She'd have to give up her career, and if she did career, she'd have to give up her love, right?
Yeah,
So I think she didn't wrap her head around it that she could actually have both. And maybe in that society at that time, you probably couldn't have both.
that is true. 'Cause like once you get married, the husband is gonna be like, "Yeah, let's make some babies." And then
Yeah, because
you
everyone's
can't
here.
focus on your studies, you can't have a career because he's gonna want
You
you to
can't.
stay home and stay with the kids. So yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't even blame men. I would blame society. Okay,
But
I'm gonna be a little.
who makes the rules of society?
I'm gonna
Men.
be a
It's
little
men.
controversial, okay?
Uh-huh.
Because even though we say men make the rule of a society, guess who enforces them? Women.
You
It
think
was
so?
the ladies of the ton that were forcing these things. Like it could have been men that okay, look who was in power. It was the queen. The queen was
True.
in power. The king was like a little crazy guy in the back. It was the
Oh my
queen that
God, do not describe him like
that
that.
the king was distant,
Yeah, let's just say distant.
right? So I'm kind of, I'm kind of if and then about it because there's a lot of perspective to see, especially from society, right?
Yeah.
It is, I think, even though men are in power and we can give them a lot of credit for the things that they've done and caused, but
Yeah.
it is also women too, like we share just as much responsibility, well, not just as much, we share in the responsibility of path in our own ways.
Mm,
I can say like maybe some of them didn't know better, but look at Lady Danbury. Like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, marry somebody else, get a new title, do this, do that," but she was like, "No, I'm gonna be a widow and I'm gonna enjoy it." Right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
you're right.
it.
A lot of the enforcers are women. They say you have to do this, you have to do that. It
Mhm.
is true, like to their daughters and other
Yeah.
women too. Like women, well, I I don't really
Yeah.
I'm not really sure if it's just women, but nowadays it's like women who dictate the beauty standard. They tell you what to
Mhm.
look like, how how you should carry yourself to be a real woman, I guess. You have to
Mhm.
have wide hips and a huge bum and a huge bazonga, well, huge
Mhm.
bazongas to be a woman. And I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, it's enforced on a lot of people and by other women. And
Mhm.
but we can't really just blame the women because men kind
Yeah.
of enforce it too.
I feel like it's not really blame game. It's more like accountability game. You know,
Yeah,
like
both genders
in
play a part in it, to be honest.
yeah,
Yeah, and
right.
both
Because
need to
people
make
say
changes.
one thing and then do a different thing, right? Women say they want to uplift and they don't want to judge each other, but in the subtle things that they do that. Men say I just want this out of a woman, but then they change it up when like situations change. So you know what, it's a lot. This world isn't perfect, we
No,
just
it's
gotta
not.
live we gotta live and live by it, and just navigate ourselves through the world. That's what most people do.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I think we should make a part two because my
okay.
mouth is getting dry. I'm tired of the flavor of talking a little bit here.
I'm sorry, I could go on forever. I will actually I okay, I have to warn you. Like I'm a talker, so like I practice so much. I would sing songs. I sang songs for like 8 hours. I've
Uh-huh.
talked for like 30 minutes straight in like one time, like more than one time. Talk when my partner is sleeping. I literally be like, "Hey, yo, you don't even have to have a conversation. I'll have a conversation with myself." So
Oh my
I
God.
can't say the same for me. I do feel a little like cheeky, but I could push through.
His ears must be on E.
Uh, no, no. Like I'm so good at it that I put everybody to sleep. Remember?
Oh my gosh. You're something else. You are
Hmm.
something else. Okay, so guys, we're gonna wrap up here. We're gonna have a part two of Bridgerton. part one of the series. I don't know.
Episode one. I don't
Yeah,
know. I feel like we got into everything today, right?
yeah, we
Like,
went through episode one to a couple more. So we're gonna continue Bridgerton series one on another day. Um, if you like us talking and
you like the sound of my voice?
yeah, you can subscribe to our channel. And this might be on Spotify one day. But yeah, subscribe to Beyond the Reels, and we'll see you in the next video.